Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another very interesting deep dive of an episode. As in this week's show, we're going to be discussing the topic of potentially exploring multiple versions of self. Also in this week's show, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And then later on in this episode, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So without further ado, we're going to crack on with today's subject. As I say, we're going to be discussing the topic of potentially experiencing multiple versions of self. Quite a long title there, but all will be revealed in a moment, because what we're talking about with this, let's start at the beginning. So first of all, there is no such thing as time. Time is just a concept. Everything is happening in the here and now, as it is in this present moment. And this includes our past lives, as we like to call them, our future selves, our current version of self, and also all of those decision and thought processes, those splits in our souls to all of those lives. Everything is happening now. Now, even just explaining this in this fashion, it is making my head spin. And I feel with being in human form, we're not meant to really know all the ins and outs of this information. So with that being said, I'm going to just gloss over that, and I'm going to bring forward to you the inspirations that have come to me from my spirit guides and my spirit team in order to delve deeper into this subject matter. So as long as we're starting off at the beginning, there's no such thing as time. Everything is happening right here, right now. Then that is a firm foundation in order to take this conversation further. So let's look at our soul. Our soul has many fragments within it. As I say, within each choice and decision we make, there are multiple versions of choices that we can make around each choice within our life. And within each one of those choices, there is a fragment of our soul that continues to exist and thrive and flourish based around that decision that was made by where we're placing our time and attention and our focus. Are you still with me? So with that being said, I can't even begin to imagine how many fragments of our soul because of this process. So with this happening, all of those, like I say, all of those decisions are all playing out, are all happening at the same time. And it's where we, like I say, put our focus and our attention and our choices is what we're going to experience. That's the experience we're going to choose. However, those other experiences are available to us, those other choices are available to us at any one moment in time. It all depends where we place our focus and attention. So with that being said, we have all of these versions of self. And to my understanding, when we make our transition and leave this physical body and we do a life review, we get to experience all the choices that we made consciously and the experiences that we made consciously. And also we get to experience what other people experienced with us having that interaction with us. And, you know, those repercussions of those choices, we get to experience that. But also on top of that, we get to experience all the choices, the potentialities that we didn't focus our time and attention on, those soul fragmental splits. We get to observe those. And so, yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher, this, isn't it? So with that being said, potentially, like I say, as the title suggests, we can explore multiple versions of ourselves because everything is happening in the here and now, and it's where we place our focus and our attention on that is going to govern our experience. So we can flip from one timeline, from one decision, one choice, into another without physically experiencing it in our conscious reality, if that makes sense. It's only when we invest additional energy, additional focus, that we get to bring it into our conscious reality, if that makes sense. And that will equate to being part of our timeline that we're choosing to follow if we give it that additional focus there. But we can have these fleeting experiences of other versions of ourselves. One of the methods to do this, and I know that everybody that's listening to this will have experienced this at some point in their life, and this is through daydreaming. How many times were you at school or college and you were reprimanded for either staring out of the window and daydreaming and being in a world of your own where, although to your knowledge, physically, with your physical body, you was in that classroom, in a maths class, for example, and the teacher was rah, 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 in the background teaching away, and you were having another experience of yourself, a soul fragment of yourself there. And it was very vivid, very real to you, very tangible. The smells, the tastes, the visions, the excitement, the emotions, they were all there, even though you were in that maths class. And all it would take was either a colleague, another student, or the teacher to shout at you or nudge you to snap you out of that daydream, that other alternative reality, that alternate fragment of yourself, and move your attention back into where your physicality was or is, shall we say. So potentially you've all had this experience at some point in your life, and it can be very, very interesting, fascinating. We get to live out various potentialities that we've never even considered. Maybe that is down to what we've allowed to subconsciously be programmed into part of our subconscious mind, which has given us limiting belief systems that has stopped us from having these experiences, if that makes sense. So it's very interesting when we allow ourselves to daydream, because we do have that potentiality to witness various parts of our soul fragments there, all occurring at the same time. And it can be very tangible, very vivid. And that's because you're not making it up. It is tangible. You're having that experience, multi-layered, multifaceted experience in that moment there. Another way that you can experience this is through astral travel. And what astral travel is basically when you go to bed of an evening to rest your body, your physical body, to get your recommended 8 hours sleep and rest, to rejuvenate the body, your soul that is connected to your physical body, that propels you forward within your life, it goes on a little holiday, a little trip. And the way it does this is it leaves the physical body, but it is attached by a silver cord, a bit similar to an umbilical cord, and this is attached to your navel. And why this is because it anchors your soul into your body. Without that silver cord there attached to the physical body, then this would result in you being bodiless, and you would be a spirit, and it would be perceived as you being officially non-existent in this dimension. You would be dead, basically. So anyway, we're attached. We all have this silver cord, and we're attached to our physical body. And with this being the case, our soul goes off and continues to have experiences. And while our physical body is taking that time out to rest and rejuvenate and replenish itself. So even though we think that we've been asleep, we haven't. We've been working away. We've been having these experiences. And potentially, we've been having experiences in other fractals of our soul. So other lifetimes that are playing out, as I say, all at the same time. Now, an analogy, I'll try and get my words out, an analogy that I'd like to share with you to help you process what I'm trying to put across to you is if you imagine you've got a TV set, okay, and you have, nowadays everybody does streaming, don't they? And on that streaming, there are multiple channels. Some are live, some are like content that you can watch at your own leisure, at your own time. But generally speaking, all of these channels exist all at the same time, all offering different sources of entertainment there as well. And it's all happening now, isn't it? And when you look through these channels and you've got the remote there and you're looking through them and you're potentially drawn to a particular channel and a program that's on that channel. So you select it and you watch it. What I'm describing to you there is what our soul is doing, our intention is doing. Our intention when we're sleeping, when we're in astral travel state, we're potentially, like I've described in the analogy, we're selecting what part of our soul fragment would we like to experience. And so when we choose and we focus our intention on that, that's what we're going to experience in the now moment, because it's all happening here and now. And so potentially we slip in and out of that version of ourselves and observe what we're doing and what the life that we're living and the people we're interacting, the planets. We could even be inanimate objects such as rocks, such as plants, wood, stone, anything like that. And we could be observing what the experience is like to have that experience from that soul fragment of ourselves in a rock, so to speak. And while we're astral traveling, potentially this is what we're doing. And so in doing that, we're collecting information. And that information is going to help our intelligence expand, both energetically, emotionally, mentally there with the information that we bring in. Now, not all of us recall this information. We're just processing it in the here and now, a bit like a random access memory of a computer system or a phone or a device there. It's very good at processing the information very rapidly, very quickly. But after a while, it can't store that information. It's limited with the amount of information it can store. So it lets it go and replenishes itself so that it can move at its fastest operating system. So in many respects, we're doing that. And potentially this is why we don't recall a lot of these soul fragment journeys that we have during our course of astral traveling, because we need to be a clear vessel, so to speak, so that we can continue to have these multiple versions of ourselves happening at the same time and us having these experiences. The point of doing this as well is all about expansion. It's all about learning. It's all about growth. It's all about intelligence feeding back on itself, because if we all, let's put it in this way, we're all connected. We're all part of the source, the God source, if you will. We're all part of the same information band, all having separate experiences of itself in order to, like I say, feed back that information back to self for expansion, for growth, for learning, for wisdom. And this is how it goes. But I want to say during this period of astral traveling, what does generally occur is that you will, when you come back into physical body, back into self, you'll bring back some high vibrational frequency codes with you. And these codes are there to help you shift the version of yourself that you're currently connected with, the physical body, shall we say. And it's to help you be at your optimum self so that you can have more intense, high vibrational experiences. Again, enabling you to bring that information of your experiences, those energetic frequency codes, back to the greater collective, back to the universe, because that's where we're all connected. So everybody and everything benefits from you doing this. I want to say, whilst you're having these experiences, you are never alone. You are always assisted by unseen hands, so to speak. So I've been told that my spirit team and my spirit guides assist whilst journaling, shall we say, journeying, that's probably the right word, journeying around these different fragments of my soul and different realities, alternate universes there, also different frequencies around the universes in this vast space that we occupy. And it goes far beyond our limited human thinking. So at this stage, you do need that support system from your spirit team and your spirit guides to take you into different realities that you're not 100% familiar with. And it's just to give you that support whilst you're having that experience. Because like I say, it's going to benefit everything and everyone, you having these experiences. Also, what I have been told, and I've actually witnessed firsthand, is that whilst you're having these experiences, out of body, astral traveling, even deep dream state there as well, what you can potentially be doing is correcting wrongs, shall I say, in different facets of yourself. So experiences I've had is where I've gone back to myself being around 4 or 5 years old, where I used to behave obviously very differently. I was a very shy individual, very timid creature, should I say. And so what I got to witness, again, there's no such thing as time, although I'm saying it's when I was 5 years old, that's the way that I'm referencing it, but actually it's all happening in the here, in the now. And what I'm talking about, when I was this age, I was very shy and I used to hide away at the back and everything. And I got to experience the experience of other pupils and my teacher, their experience of me and how I was behaving in that timeline. And I've got to say, it was most bizarre, very peculiar. And so I got to experience their frustrations with trying to connect with me and having some sort of dialogue and connection verbally there, mentally. And obviously there wasn't getting much feedback from myself because I was shy. I was very quiet, I just used to observe a lot there. And so I got to felt their experience of me, and it was most peculiar. And based upon that information, I could then go back into the 5-year-old version of myself and make the necessary tweaks and adjustments so that I wasn't that shy, so that I was more open, so that I was more interactive. And as I say, because everything is happening in the here, in the now moment consciousness, that had a ripple effect with how I'm observing myself in my life at this present moment. And what I mean by that is I noticed that I'm not shy anymore. I don't have an issue of communicating with people, connecting with complete strangers, and opening up and sharing my truth and my journey, my stories with them. In fact, I embrace it more so now than ever before. And I would say partly because of this experience that I had, where I got to connect with the 5-year-old version of myself and the people around me having that experience of me at that age. It's a bit of a mind scratcher, this, isn't it? But hopefully you're following me at this point. So I noticed that this had a ripple effect into where I'm placing my time and attention on as I'm talking to you now. It still continues to flourish and grow with me having that experience and those lessons. But also, for you that are listening to this is something that if you've never considered trying before, that you could try. And the way that you would do that is by focusing your intentions by getting into the practice of meditation as well, slowing the mind down, not being judgmental, just having an intention to want to correct the wrongs in your life, and just allow those visions and those experiences to come flooding back into your present moment consciousness. And when they do, don't judge, just observe. Just be the observer, collate all of that information. And at that point, when you have that information, like I described to you what I experienced, then you can make an assessment of it, and you can choose, well, actually, that's not really benefiting me as I am now as an individual. So how would I change that experience to benefit me now and the people around me now, and also then as well? And once you come to that conclusion, you can then focus your intention upon manifesting and creating that. And the way that you will be doing that is to healing those so-called wrongs in your life, in order to help you flourish in your now moment consciousness. But also, like I say, in order to do this, you've got to observe. And having that ability to observe, I will say, will serve you greatly in any one moment of your life, whether you're focusing on your physical life in this dimension or the other soul fractals within your life. Again, all happening in this moment in time. With you having these observational skills, what you will notice is your soul fragments in other people, in other animals, in this dimension of time. And this is very interesting when you observe that spark, that connection between you and another individual. This could be in a very strong bonded friendship. It could be with a complete stranger that you've never met in your entire life, and all of a sudden you hit it off as if you've known one another for eons of time. Well, as I say, there's no such things of time. It's all happening in the here and now. What is happening is you're observing yourself having an experience of yourself, another part of your soul fractal. This could also be reflected back to you in, I would say, either a soulmate or a twin flame romantic relationship, where you feel at home with that individual, where you feel comfortable, where you feel in alignment and appreciated and valued. And potentially what's happening there is, like I say, your soulmate, your twin flame, whatever terminology you wish to use, is actually reflecting back to you part of your soul fragment, and you're experiencing yourself. And so that other individual is doing the very same. How bizarre is that? Just to wrap your head around that. So it's very fascinating, isn't it? And you'll find that you build up strong bonds and connections with these individuals where you spot that spark, that soul fragment of yourself there feeding back to itself. And it's a beautiful thing because you help each other learn, expand and grow. You help each other through the twists and turns of your focused, intentional experiences, and giving yourselves that feedback, that support mechanism in order to make more conscious decisions that's going to serve not only your soul, well, it is your soul, but your soulmate's soul fragment of yourself and their soulmate fragment of themselves in you. We're going very deep in this one, aren't we? But hopefully you're following me and you're understanding where we're talking, what we're talking about with this. I want to say, with you having these experiences like I've described, such as daydreaming, going in really deep with meditations, also astral traveling, having deep dream state experiences, and also having this connection with soulmates or, twin flames or people that you align with on a soul level, what you will notice in your day-to-day now moment reality as a result of these experiences is that your life is going to expand and change. You're going to be noticing things a lot more in your life. You're going to be removing a lot of the old belief systems that perhaps you were subconsciously taught throughout the course of your life. A lot of those things are going to be let go of. So you have a more balanced perspective and a more neutral state of being. And in this state of being, this is where you can observe more. This is where you can expand your reality, your consciousness more. Also, what you'll notice is maybe because of your belief systems changing, then other fragments of your life is going to change, such as your diet, the food you consume and that you're drawn to, the people that you associate with, the music that you listen to, the things that you consider fascinating and interesting in your spare time, your pastimes, your hobbies, your interests. You'll notice some of these changing, albeit very incrementally, very slightly. When you're not attached to them and you're just observing, you will notice these subtle changes. Also, you will observe other people recognizing these shifts and changes within you. And that is because you have a more expansive consciousness where you're not fixed, you're not rigid to certain outcomes or timelines there. You're more mindful that you're continually expanding and growing in multiple facets of your soul fragments. And with this being the case, there's all these options. There's all of these potentialities all occurring in the here and now. And it's where you decide to focus your intention and where to push your focus and energy. That is going to be having a knock-on effect, not only with your reality, in your present moment consciousness, in the physical vehicle, your body. It's going to be having a change in that, but also it's going to be having a knock-on effect to all of these soul fragments that are connected to your soul there. So with that being said, if you happen to get distracted, I'll just give you an example. If you happen to get distracted and you find yourself potentially moving out of alignment with your soul agreement for your particular timeline, so to speak, then that will have repercussions on the other soul fragments connected to your soul there. And those existences will also experience a setback. So with this being said, that ripple effect is in motion in all of the facets of your soul. We spoke about earlier about past lives, future lives. It's all happening now, isn't it? So it will have repercussions on all of those areas, all of those facets. So obviously the opposite effect to that is when you trust your intuition and you make those affirming soul aligning choices within your vibration, then that will have a positive ripple effect, won't it? And it will affect all of those facets of yourself and also fragments of your soul there as well. And potentially what I was describing to you earlier about me going back, I say going back, but really I was just choosing to have the experience of the 5-year-old version of myself. Upon doing that and having those experiences of the other people that had an experience of me, it had a ripple effect and it changed the way that I am as an individual as I'm talking to you now. It has allowed me to be more open, more communicative, also to be more observant, but also not being afraid to share the truths that I've experienced throughout the course of not only my timeline, but other soul fragments of myself experiencing itself. We got there in the end. Whew. I think everybody after hearing this episode will have to have a lie down, have a nice drink of water just to get their bearings back, because it is quite a head scratcher, this. And as you know, all of this information is brought to you and influenced by Spirit. So I'm very grateful to them for bringing this information through and helping me navigate my way through communicating it to you. And I hope that both of us together, my spirit team and myself, have done a reasonable job in bringing this information to you. But I just want to end this conversation by saying, in order to have these experiences that we've been talking about, meditation and periods of rest are, I would say, essential tools to assist with these experiences. They will help you have various experiences with the soul fragments that you are connected with, and not having any judgment, being relaxed, being balanced, just having those observational skills. And with the information that you extract from those experiences, you can then make more conscious choices. And maybe if you're wanting to right perceived wrongs in your life, then you have that potential to do that if you choose to. So I hope that has helped you in some way, shape or form. And I hope it's proved to you that you're bigger, that you are more vast, and you are more essential to the universe than you ever have given yourself credit for. And this is not an egoic exercise with me stating that to you. It's just to let you know the importance, no matter who you are, what you do, what your job is, what your financial situation is, what your family situation is, where you happen to be in the universe. You are all connected and you all play a role, and it all has a ricocheting effect that benefits one and all. So think about that the next time that you're just about to put yourself down and talk down to yourself and feel bad about yourself, no matter where you happen to be experiencing your life or what you're experiencing in your life, maybe consider those thoughts. And that alone will shift you out of that way of thinking. Well, we're now going to move into the next section of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And this is the part of the show that I really enjoy, because obviously whilst I'm going through that, I'm unaware of any of the information that's coming through. So when you listen to it, I listen to it, and it amazes me the way that spirit work and bring their wisdoms through. And I can take a great deal of comfort in the knowing that all of this information makes complete sense to me, and it always comes when it's meant, which I find fascinating personally. But I want to check in before we do that and ask how you are doing. How is your week going? And have you noticed any of these subtle changes that have been happening? I know I personally have been noticing these changes. It feels almost as if I've moved into a different timeline. And what I mean by that is that I seem to have gone into a timeline of abundance, so to speak, where I've noticed, in fact, the other week, this is, I may have mentioned it before, but I'm still pinching myself. I won the lottery 3 times in 1 week. It wasn't the millions of pounds that we all dream of, but it was just token gestures. And I found this an absolute blessing, because probably like a lot of you that take part in the lotto, that you do it and you do it and, you don't win anything. And most of the time we don't win anything for years, in fact. And then all of a sudden I won 3 times in a week. And I saw this as a token gesture from the universe, just to let me know that things are on the change for the better, moving into a higher vibrational timeline where everything flows. And partly the reason because of that, I feel, is because I personally have done a lot of inner work, and I've released some of those shackles and the way that I perceive myself. And it has opened this level of vibration up for this to occur. I've also noticed an abundance of help and support from listeners, viewers, supporters there. It all seems to be happening at the same time, as well as, an abundance of work coming in, a demand for work that I do there. And obviously, this is an absolute blessing. Anybody that is self-employed like myself and does all of this sort of energy work and spiritual work will know that, the work comes when it is meant. And, there's a flow, there's an ebb and flow to being self-employed, and particularly when you work with spirit and you work with energy. And so I've noticed these very substantial changes in my life. And do you know what? I'm pinching myself. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. And a few people have noted actually that I have changed for the better. I seem to be more quirky, full of beans, happy, very witty, and just uplifting, upbeat. So that was very kind of them to say that. And I must admit, I do feel different. I do feel like I have a different energy about me. So I wanted to throw that out there to everybody that's listening to this show. Have you been going through something similar? Have you noticed some changes in your abundance? Have you noticed changes in your personality? Have people around you, your friends and family, made reference to how you've changed for the better? I just thought I'd throw that out there because I find it fascinating when these dramatic shifts enter our life and, and we move into a higher timeline. It just amazes me. Anyway, we're moving into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from Spirit. So sit back, relax. You can take some notes if you wish to do so, and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of Spirit.
Hello, thank you for letting me come through. My name is Saeed. I have lots of knowledge to share with you. The fact is that we want to come and talk about the various aspects of color, and color can mean so many things. It has a code, it has a frequency, has an alignment with you. And the colors at the moment will be very significant in your day-to-day experience, as you will be finding that a lot of the colors you will be attracting into your life are bringing forward healing codes and healing aspects that will help you to ascend on a new journey moving forward. Please forgive my way of communicating. This is a unique experience for me coming forward in this manner. But we hope you understand the energy and the messages we are conveying to you. We talk about color as sending you on a higher timeline. Many of you will have interactions with color, and this color will make you feel very light in your energy, will make you feel dizzy and very lightheaded, and also make you feel very lethargic. This is for the specific reason of healing and expansion in your vibration. It's going to be very unusual for you to experience this in such a way that it helps you to ascend. A lot of you are resisting these changes to ascend on your highest timeline because of what has gone before it. And we speak of lots, most of you listening, we speak of that there is a timeline where you have been in struggle and you have been in a vibration of lack. And what we speak of, these vibrations of color, will bring forward a degree of you letting go of that resistance so that you may formulate a new way of living. It will feel rather peculiar when you first start on this trajectory, as everything you've ever known before will have to be eradicated in order to step forward in this new vibration. But going back to our initial conversation, we speak of color, and color is an amazing catalyst, as it will help you to propel yourself forward without having those internal battles and struggles. We would like to share with you today the color of violet. and purple, as these colors will help you move to higher frequencies. A lot of you will be seeing these colors. We use the term violet and purple because everybody has, that's the nearest thing we can describe your experiences coming very soon in your vista. Everybody has their unique perception of color, but this is the nearest thing we can describe that you will be seeing. When we say seeing, we're talking about both energetically with the side vision, your peripheral vision in your physical eyesight, and also you will be manifesting color of this vibration to you. This brings you some comfort in this communication. I'm going to go because there is another communicator wanting to come through. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you.
Hello, thank you for listening. My name is George, and I've come forward to give you a little bit of insight and information. Most of you are internalizing your life and you're processing things that have gone before now. And a lot of you are tying yourself up in knots trying to work things out and why things have happened certain ways in your timeline. And we say to you, do not give it any overthinking. We want you to accept what has gone, and what is coming in, and stop trying to figure every bloody thing out, because you're wasting your energy, you're tiring yourself out. Instead, focus on what brings you joy in your life, and do more of those things. When you do that, everything else will be taken care of, and we're talking about all the other facets in your life that you may be contemplating and giving your time, energy and attention to. You don't need to. You need to focus on what brings you joy, and then the rest will be taken care of. We felt that this was an immediate message that needed to be heard by the collective, because as we say, there's a lot of you that are tying yourself up in knots because of your internalizing your life and the experiences that you've had. And we want to tell you that time hasn't been wasted, so never think that whatever you've gone through has been an absolute waste of your time, energy and emotions, because it has not. It has enabled you to heal, to learn and grow, and to expand into new trajectories, new opportunities that are really, really, really ready for you now to step into. So see it as a blessing in disguise. And that's all we want to communicate with you today. But we hope that both my and the previous communicators, as you could probably tell, both of the messages are kind of linked, as we were having a misalignment with transmissions. You could possibly hear different voices coming through the first communicator. But we assure you that was the first time that he came forward. And so there were many others wanting to come forward, and that was what you was hearing. You was hearing a confrontation of many voices blending into one. With practice and alignment, the new communicator that stepped in first of all today will find it a lot easier to blend and come forward in the future. So thank you for persevering. Thank you for your patience. We send you our love and blessings, and we look forward to coming to speak to you very soon about other urgent matters that are happening in your earthbound incarnation. But for now, we send you our love, we send you our healing, and we want to let you know that you are loved regardless of your circumstances or situation. You are always loved. God bless. Bye.
Another fascinating communication there from the world of spirit. Very nice to hear about colour and frequencies and what colour is actually doing behind the scenes. The energy, the vibration is helping us to reach that form of ascension where we can move into the best version of ourselves. But some of the symptoms to look out for was interesting. Feeling lightheaded, feeling dizzy, feeling lethargic as we go through these shifts and changes there. And the purpose of this is to help us expand this healing vibration that is interwoven with the colors. The frequency there is helping us move into new vibrations as we're removing the old vibrations of the lack mentality. And so we're moving more into a thriving vibration within our timeline, which is always encouraging to know, as I'm sure many of you listening to this will have gone through times of struggle. And so it's always reassuring to know that actually that is coming to an end. And this is the way it's going to come to an end. So I really enjoyed hearing all about that. And then it was nice to hear from the other communicator, again, talking about the various communicators that were coming forward through that first transmission, should we say. And they were all jostling for position to come forward. And that's why we was hearing layers upon voices within that one voice, which I found fascinating as a channeler myself. Obviously, hearing that back was quite phenomenal for myself there. But also the second communicator talking about moving out of our own way, and that we're all thinking far too much, and we're worrying too much, and we're trying to figure everything out in our mind, how our life is meant to unfold. And in fact, in doing that, we're causing ourselves a great series of disservice, because we're actually standing in front of ourselves and blocking ourselves from being the very best version on our timeline. Instead, we are to focus upon joy and, look where we want to be in our life. Look to what makes us feel great and makes us feel more expansive. And as a result, our experiences are going to be servicing us on a greater level there. And in fact, they said that they're going to be a blessing in disguise. So what a beautiful transmission. I really enjoyed listening back to that. So now we're going to move into the next segment of this show, which is this week's forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So sit back, relax, take some notes if you wish, and enjoy this week's forecast reading. Hello and welcome to this week's forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 10th of March 2025. Those of you that have watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the angel tarot card. So what I'm about to do is shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. There was a card very eager to come out, so this is your card for this week. Now I'm going to link into the feelings of this. First of all, I do feel as though you'll be shouldering a lot of responsibilities this week. Predominantly, what I'm sensing is that those things that you've been putting off, those emotional doubts that you've had in the back of your mind, are going to be coming up to the surface. You've been holding on to these for quite some time, and this week will actually see you having to face them, whether you like it or not. But what I am hearing is victory will prevail because you're facing them, you're not ignoring them, and I do feel as though things will be better than what you ever perceived them to be as a result of you facing these insecurities head on. I'm also sensing that you'll be getting a lot of migraines on the way, or headaches building up, pressure in the mind there, and this is because you are overthinking things and you need to relax and settle into the here and now. Once you begin to do that, again, like we've said previously, things won't be appearing as bad as what they originally did. So have that courage, have that faith to tackle things head on. I'm also sensing that there's a need for you to balance your life a little bit more than what you have been doing. My guides are telling me adulting, and what they mean by that is that you've been far too serious for far too long, and you need to let that masquerade and that guard down and have more fun. Have that childlike sense of humor, fun and adventure. It's what your soul is needing right now, and also this will be a great tonic to heighten your vibrations, to uplift you and stop your vibration being pulled down by the dramas that are happening globally and in society there. This is what you need. Laughter is the best medicine. Please do also watch out for symptoms of tension in the jawline right along here there, as I do feel a lot of you are going to bed of an evening there and you're waking up in the morning and you've got this ache in the jawline. This is because you've been sleeping with your tension in the jaw there. You're carrying that tension there. So it's very important that you allow yourself to have fun, have relaxation when you can fit it into your busy schedule. And I use that term, fitting it into your busy schedule, because I do sense that you are going to be inundated with lots of projects, work, and demands on your time this week. So it is up to you what you say yes or no to, but you need to just have a backbone and say no. If you can't physically fit it in, just say no, and don't feel bad about doing that, about fitting, helping as many people as you can this week. Also this week we'll see you experiencing a little bit of tension in the back and the sides of your neck. A way that you can relieve that tension is if you can have salt baths or longer showers with warm water, and actually you can buy mineral salts and things of that nature that you can have in the shower there that will help this tension around the neck with you. Also, watch out for your breathing this week, because everything's going to be moving very fast paced. It will see your breathing being very short, sharp and shallow. So every now and again, just catch yourself, observe your breathing, slow it down, and bring yourself back into center and be nice and calm and relaxed. In terms of love and romance, I do feel that this week there's going to be some eureka moments where there's going to be that magical sense of wonder, ease and grace and romance that's going to be entering your life. It doesn't matter whether you're married, in a relationship or single, you're all going to be spotting these little nuances of passion entering your life. So rather than stepping away from them, just observe them and go with the flow, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. That's what I'm being told. So I'm going to turn over the card for you and go through that with you. So at the top of the card, we've got the angel number of number 15. So if you can research that as an angel number, it will give you some additional content and information there as well. Underneath that, it says ego. So I feel as though this is talking about this week. There's going to be lots of ego on display, including your own, whether you realize you're doing it or not there. So keep yourself grounded, keep yourself humble, keep yourself intact. You don't need to be showboating, telling everybody what you do and how you do it and all of that. Just be yourself. People will respect you for being yourself. You don't have to put on this masquerade. So let your guard down and be the true essence of you. That is the message with that. So I'm going to read the inscription at the bottom of the card, and it reads illusion, dependency, and materialism. The illusion, I feel as though is talking about what society deems acceptable and what is the norm. Never mind all that. Trust your internal workings. Trust the stirring of your heart, what resonates with you. You don't have to be keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak. Just be yourself and allow yourself to flourish on your own timeline. Dependency is actually, I feel as though you obviously relying on others. This week we'll see you actually taking that power back a little bit more for yourself, where more independence enters your life, where you are taking responsibility for your own actions and the choices that you make. And then materialism, I feel as though, like we say, keeping up with the Joneses. Yes, there's wants, there's desires of what we'd like in our life, but actually ask yourself that question: do I really need it, or am I just craving that new item for the sake of keeping up with the Joneses? That seems to be a reoccurring theme with this. So that's what I feel that represents. Looking into the card, we have the colour of purple around the edge of the card. This indicates treating yourself, I feel, doing something nice for you that will uplift your vibration and keep you on that even keel of balance in your life. Also, it represents you being supported, guided and inspired by spirit. Your family, friends and loved ones from the world of spirit are very much around you this week, steering you in the right direction so that life appears to be more fluid for you and there's no resistance there. They're going to help you through that situation, so do watch out for that. Looking into the artwork there, we have this angelic being there that is supporting, guiding and helping, but also it indicates resting is paramount this week. If you can have some time out for yourself, for self-reflection, that will benefit you in the long run. Also, we have this bird in a cage with the cage door open. I feel that symbolizes this is you, casting all those aspersions, blaming others for where you happen to be in your life, when in actual fact, you're holding yourself back, nobody else is. And this is through your belief systems, the thoughts and the emotions that you're holding on to. So when you learn to observe that, you then begin to realize that you had the keys all along to open that door and to release yourself from that prison that you've been locked into for quite some time now. So realize this, go with the flow and enjoy that freedom and take one step at a time, and that will build your confidence up, and also you will appreciate things more in life. Life will appear different to you because abundance will be naturally and magnetically drawn to you once you make these very important realizations. Also, this card represents that, yes, there's going to be some brighter times coming in for you. I feel towards Friday of this week where everything's going to come into alignment. Opportunities are going to find their way to you. And instead of you pushing them away, you're actually going to start to say yes to life and get excited about life more so now than you have done in quite some time there as well. So do watch out for that. It's also telling you to reframe situations in your mind and to change the narrative. So that's what I picked up for this week's forecast reading. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading, you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a Buy Me a Coffee link either above or below this video. And this is a virtual tip jar, so all of your generous donations will be gratefully and appreciatively received. If you're wanting to book in with me for any of my services or reading or anything of that nature, you can book in with the link above this video. You can also go to the link on all of my social medias, and you can go to my website, www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com, and book in directly with me there. Join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on all of my social medias, on my website, with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. Have a fantastic week, everybody. God bless, and bye for now. Well, it sounds like we're all set for a very interesting week, doesn't it? And I'm sure you'll agree with me that March already feels different, the vibration of March. So to get that distinctive inspirational guidance there from Spirit is certainly helping me to view things slightly differently for this week ahead. Anyway, I want to extend the invitation to you all. If you have any questions you'd like to ask the show, or if you would like us to base a show around your specific question, then please do get in touch by contacting me at www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. As ever, it will be absolutely incredible to hear from you and to extend that arm of friendship towards your direction. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode, as you're aware that it's inspired and it's also channeled from the world of spirit. So I hope you can take something from it to learn, to grow, and also just to expand your consciousness a little bit more in all things matters of self-help, spiritual development, and paranormal information there. I hope it's certainly given you something different to perceive. But anyway, I wish you a wonderful week ahead. Whatever it happens to be that you're doing, do it with love, with ease, with grace. Move yourself out of your own way so that you can work in connection and conjunction with the universe, so that you can move with ease and grace, and you're not struggling and fighting the will of your higher self and the universe this week. So you can join me next week at the same time of 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with this very show, From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, again talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. And it is available, this show, on all of my social media platforms. It's also available on my website, www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com, and also all of the episodes are archived on my website, so you can catch up and join in with me there. Anyway, take care, God bless, and I see you all very, very soon. Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to glennboddicespiritualmedium.com.